Hey guys, how's it going? It's time for another episode of Coffee and the Cougar. As always, I'm Rob Alderman. With me, the Cougar. Cougar, we have a pretty exciting show. I'm not going to lie to you. I know you've been saying to me lately, right? You've been like, what's next? How do we up the ante on the show? You guys don't know this, but like Cougar's pretty aggressive about our show ratings. He's always like, how many views do we get? How many thumbs up do we get? How many likes do we get? Like all the time. I'm like, Cougar, chill out a little bit. Give us time. Give us some time. But Cougar will not rest. So you're in luck, Cougar, because today with us we have the new hotness. We have the exciting thing that we want to talk about. And I know this because you guys are already like, you're talking my ear off about this in a good way. I say that. I didn't mean it negative, like they won't stop talking. But I mean, a second ago, you said, this is so easy to talk about because I'm so excited about it. So I am happy to introduce Robert Brewer, right? And you are the Associate Professor and Coordinator of the Greg Vidal Center for Natural Resources and Conservation.
Correct.
Also known as the longest title on Cleveland State campus.
And the only named program on Cleveland State campus.
Okay. Oh, boom. That's like mic drop sort of thing, but don't drop the mic. Also, to your right is Jenny Paul Yall. Did I get that correct?
That is correct.
How many people actually call you that?
A lot of people think my last name is Yall.
Jenny Paul Yall.
Yeah, I'm Jenny Paul Yall.
No, that's cool. I'm all about it. So today we're going to talk about things outdoors. And see, Cougar, you were right. I thought her last name was Yall. I was like, hey, today we're going to hang out with Jenny Paul Yall. The Cougar was like, it's Jenny Paul Yall. I was like, no, Cougar, look at my notes. But you're right, Cougar, you win this round. Anyway, today we're going to talk about conservation. We're going to talk about outdoorsmanship. We're going to talk about all the exciting things that you have going on. And I guess what I want to start with is I want to talk about the Wildlife Society program here at Cleveland State Community College. So why don't you let all of our viewers know, tell us a little bit about that to start with.
Okay, the Wildlife Society is a student chapter of the parent organization, an international organization of wildlife biologists. So it's a student organization on campus that ties in with our Forestry Wildlife and Fisheries program. It allows students to get involved with active research projects with professionals in the field, to attend conferences, to attend competitions like our Southeastern Wildlife Conclave, things like that outside the classroom. It's a huge extracurricular activity.
Right. So this isn't, educating me, this isn't the classes themselves. This is a student organization, almost like a club you can be a part of that does outdoor environmental type things.
Exactly. We work with several different agencies from U.S. Forest Service, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Tennessee State Parks, all these agencies to get those students practical experience in the field.
Awesome. Now, how many students are currently a part of that program?
We range around 30 a semester.
30 a semester. That's awesome. Would you say, so it's the kind of place where if I wanted to go to a competition, and I know we're going to hand the mic over to Jenny Paul, y'all, in a second, because she's very excited about like how well you've placed organizationally against some other schools, larger organizations, right? And she's waiting, right? She wants to say this. But so if I wanted to be involved in a competition, let's say, or to learn about, earlier you were talking about like animal skulls. If I wanted to learn about like the difference between like a bear skull and a raccoon skull, and I had to, somebody was like, quick, what is this? And I had to say like, it's this kind of skull. That's where I would go?
Yes.
It seems weird when I say it,
yes.
But there's a lot of people watching this that's a cool thing. What are some of the other things? What are some of the other things like I might take part in competition
Okay.
with?
We have intellectual competitions, physical competitions, and quiz bowl, and a team competition.
Give me an example of a physical competition. Cougar, pay attention right now. You and me, we're going to see which one of us would be better at these competitions. Give me a physical competition.
Obstacle course, canoeing,
Okay.
archery, shotgun,
I'm
rifle.
going to whip you in canoeing, Cougar. You don't even like water at all. He's pretty good at archery. I think I definitely have you on the obstacle course. All right, give me an example of an intellectual competition.
Dendrology, telemetry, lab practical,
Museum skin prep.
museum skin preparation, things along those
I
lines.
don't even know what any of those are, so I'm going to concede those to the Cougar. Okay? So I think I have the Cougar beat on the physical. He probably has me beat on the intellectual. Would you also say, if I had an outdoorsy shirt that had an embroidered largemouth bass on it, that would maybe be a place I could hang out and other people would have a shirt like that?
Sure. We'll take anybody. Come on, we'll teach you what you need to know.
Perfect. All right. If you don't mind handing the mic over to Jenny Paul, y'all, tell me, now you're so excited about this program, right, Jenny?
Sure, yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot to be excited about.
So tell us about the specifically the competition. You're very excited about this.
Well, so every year, all the schools in the Southeast with a wildlife program compete, and it's called the Southeastern Conclave. It's through the Wildlife Society.
Right.
And last year, we placed 7th out of 20 schools. So we beat out schools that have juniors, seniors, and even master's students. So with our students, with the experiences they get through our program in 2 years, beat out master's students. And I get really excited about it until I remember that a lot of our students have now graduated and they're at these other schools, and they're now our competition this year. But
Oh, wow, you made them great. Mm-hmm. You made them great, and now they are your enemy.
so now we're really working really hard to build a team
Sure.
that can beat last year's team.
So we're coming for you.
Yeah.
You hear that, former students? We're on our way. We're
Yeah.
coming for you. Well, do you mind, tell me a little bit about the Greg Vital Center for Natural Resources and Conservation.
Oh, well, it's the first officially named program at the college. So Greg Vital, he's a huge supporter of natural resources management in the school. And so it's the umbrella organization within Forestry, Wildlife, Fisheries, and Ag are all housed.
Awesome. So for those of you who don't necessarily know Greg Vital, he is a local businessman, and he cares very much about the environment and wildlife. And for those of you who aren't aware, if you're local people, he is the man with the buffalo, right? So when people talk about the buffalo farm, that you can go out and see the buffalo. Cougar, I know you go every year to the Blessing of the Buffalo. It's a thing you do. Thanks for the invite. Last year I went. Cougar, I was Cougars plus one. We went out and we hung out with the buffalo. So that's who Greg Vital is. I got to be here a couple years ago, right when this program sort of got its kickoff. Very, very exciting things. Now, the SWAP program. Robert, tell me about the SWAP program.
I'm glad you asked. SWAP stands for Student Wildlands Adventure Program. And it's exactly that. It's a swap of students. The first off, this was developed by a friend of mine that's a wildlife biologist in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay.
And he and I got together, and he said, you've got to get your students out here. So we got some funding, and we took students to New Mexico, to the Santa Fe National Forest, and they learned about western ecosystems.
Okay.
This past year, we brought students from Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado to East Tennessee, where they learned about eastern ecosystems and water.
That's awesome.
They don't have water.
They don't have any water. They don't know how we roll here.
They have 5 species of
and
fish
we don't
and
have
stuff,
any deserts.
and that's a good thing
Yeah.
for us. But this year, we're going back, and we're not going to Santa Fe. We're going to Carson National Forest and Gila National Forest. We're walking in the footsteps of Aldo Leopold.
Okay.
For those that don't know, Aldo Leopold is the father of this field, the father of wildlife management.
What? Okay.
He was
okay.
the first district manager of the Carson National Forest.
Okay.
And he wrote several short stories that are in a book called Sand County Almanac. And one of them is Thinking Like a Mountain, talks about killing a wolf and seeing the fierce green fire die from its eyes. And that was in the Gila National Forest, in
Okay.
the Aldo Leopold Wilderness. So we're going to take students and walk in the footsteps of Aldo Leopold this year.
Okay.
And we're right in the middle of our fundraising project for it.
Okay.
And Greg
How does
Vital-
somebody become a part of that?
Okay. Greg Vital has agreed to match the first $12,500 we raise. So
Okay.
for every dollar we raise, he's going to match it up to $12,500.
That's awesome.
It's going to take us $25,000 to take students from across Tennessee, not just Cleveland State students, but across Tennessee, out there and do this.
Oh, that's awesome. So you hear that, students and community. Greg Vital's agreed to match up to half of what's necessary.
Yes.
So it's going to happen if
gonna happen.
if we raise $12,500, right?
And I would just add that we're targeting students that have a financial need that wouldn't have been able to do these trips and have these experiences without the SWAP program. So the students that we brought from out west here we targeted Native American students off the Pueblos and students that like had a not only an interest in wildlife management and natural resource management, but also a financial need. So it's really important for us to put forward these opportunities at no cost to the students. So we don't want this to be a financial burden to them
Right.
and limit them from those experiences. So that's why these donations are so important, because
What are some of the ways that you're getting the word out about this? Like, how could somebody donate if they want to donate?
Okay, we've arranged with the Cleveland State Foundation. If anybody wants to make a donation, they can make it to the Cleveland State Foundation.
Great.
And simply on their forward line, put Wildlife Society Swap.
Awesome.
And that goes in, it's tallied, and then we can keep that running tally for the match from Mr. Vital. We can also do it through a few other places, but that's the easiest way, and it's a 501c3. It's tax deductible.
That's fantastic. You guys have such exciting things going on here for students, but just before we started recording, you were telling me this isn't just for students, current students, but you're already looking at the next generation of students. Tell me a little bit about what you have going on for the community, not the community, but in your partnership with certain schools, because I think that's super exciting. Like for parents who are out there who have students that are in our local community, in our school system already, right? Tell them a little bit about what you're getting ready to do with bringing some of the grade school students here.
Okay. This year we've teamed up with the Cleveland Bradley Keep America Beautiful, and they are bringing elementary school students, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders to campus. I think it's March 6th and 8th, and we're having a conservation camp for them. So our Wildlife Society students will be working with those students and teaching them about conservation during those 2 days.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What are some of the things that they'll be learning about?
You want to tell?
Well, yeah, so it was really neat because a few Fridays ago, we took a group of students to get trained in this special program called Project Wild, and
Okay.
it's all different activities geared towards younger kids and grade school ages, and it's using different games and different like hands-on activities, teaching them some pretty complex ecological theories about predator-prey interactions and trophic interactions and things like that, just by modifying freeze tag and some different things.
That's amazing.
So we took, I don't know what, 13 students that are now certified in this early education program, and so they can now give back whenever we have these events.
Well, that's
So that's
amazing.
one, and then in April we have Standing Stone Naturalist Rally,
Correct.
which is at Standing Stone State Park, where we always volunteer our time and put together different hands-on activities. But this is another event where our students can use their Project Wild training to do an outreach activity with kids at the park.
That's fantastic.
And adults.
Yeah, we do adult programs at Standing Stone as well. So.
Okay, well, that's amazing. Well, listen, it's about time for us to wrap up. If somebody wants to know more about what you have going on, where do they go? What do they need to check out?
They can go to the Cleveland State website, and right there on the front banner, you'll see a sign that says this could be your office, and if you click on that, it will give you information. Within the Cleveland State website, if they will search Vital Center, VITAL, then it will bring up that
Awesome.
web page for us and has all the contact information there.
Awesome. So
Follow us on Facebook also. Follow us on Facebook at the Wildlife Society at Cleveland State.
there you go. See? There you go. So check it out. If you're a community member, you should be involved. If you're a student here, you should be involved. If you're a parent of a student in our Bradley Cleveland system, you should be involved and donate, volunteer. This program where we're going to send students out of town to learn more about ecological systems that they wouldn't normally learn about. Guys, let's raise that $12,500. Let's go ahead and do it. Greg Vital's already agreed to handle half of it. So listen, Robert, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Jenny, Paul, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Cougar, what do you think? We upped the ante, didn't we? I told you we would. Told you we would have the best show ever. Until next time, I'm Rob Alderman. This is the Cougar. We'll see ya.